Adaku, a tall, beautiful and well-shaped young girl. Her mother had her at a very young age, before she was even ready for motherhood. She left Adaku in the care of her grandmother and visited them from time to time. Grandma was a warm, loving woman who ran a small restaurant. Her food business made her home a hub for her grandchildren, especially during school holidays. There was always plenty to eat, and her kind nature made every child love her. Adaku, being the first grandchild and living permanently with Grandma, naturally took charge whenever Grandma wasn't around. She was commanding and controlling, often clashing with her male cousins. Her bossy and authoritative attitude made many of her cousins uncomfortable. As Grandma's restaurant grew busier, she needed extra help. She invited Emeka, her grandson from her second child, to live with her. Emeka was calm, strong and hardworking. Unlike Adaku, he did all the chores without complaint. Adaku, who always disliked chores, now completely withdrew from any housework, using Emeka as an excuse. When Grandma left for shop, Emeka would clean, cook and fix things, while Adaku sat around giving orders. Broken plates and arguments became frequent and Grandma grew tired. To reduce the tension, she allowed the children to take turns helping her at the shop, and Adaku quickly volunteered. "I will go, Mama," she said excitedly, more for escape than responsibility. Emeka agreed to stay back. At least at home, no one would boss him around. At the shop, Adaku did nothing. She sat idly, talked back at customers, and refused to help. Grandma had already hired a helper, so Adaku thought there was no need to lift a finger. But by the end of the day, Grandma was flooded with complaints. "Adaku," she called, "this is just one day, and people are already reporting you. You didn't even help with washing plates." "Ah, Grandma, but Auntie Kasara is being paid for that," Adaku replied dismissively. "Shut up," Grandma scolded. "Why did you even come with me?" That night, Grandma entered Adaku's room, sat by the bed. "Adaku, for how long will you continue like this? No man will want to marry a lazy, rude woman. I was hoping you would grow over it, but ever since Emeka came, you've become worse. You are a girl and one day someone's wife. If you grow up with this attitude, you will miss it all." Adaku turned in anger. "What did I even do now, Grandma?" Grandma stood up and walked away in silence. Adaku's mother, who had 7 children and survived on her pep selling business, was soon called to come take Adaku. The girl had become too much to handle. Adaku's mother wasn't happy, but she had no choice. She took her back to the city. Adaku was delighted to be with her family again. No chores, no one to complain about her being lazy. She had finished secondary school and was getting more beautiful each day. People around admired her, and she was clearly favored. One day, while accompanying her mother to the market, they ran into Auntie Onome, a church member and a wealthy neighbor. "Auntie, good afternoon," Auntie Onome greeted warmly. Adaku's mother smiled. "Good afternoon. She is your daughter?" Onome asked. "Yes, my first child." "Ah, she's so beautiful," Onome admired. Adaku smiled. "Thank you, ma." Auntie Onome later approached her in church and offered her a chance to live with her and care for her son, since her husband worked offshore. To Adaku, this was a dream come true. Big house, easy life, rich people around. She didn't hesitate. She informed her parents and moved in. At Auntie Onome's house, life was easy. Machine did the chores. She wore fine clothes, went out in cars, and lived her soft life. She became part of the family. Auntie Onome sponsored her education, rented her a lodge, and bought foodstuffs and provisions for her. All she needed to do was study. Adaku embraced campus life with pride. Her courage and lifestyle made people assume her father was a top politician. She ignored classmates and considered beneath her, and surrounded herself with rich boys who barely attend classes. She marked attendance, ran errands, and got paid in return. She lived luxuriously even when Auntie Onome hadn't sent upkeep. Pride became her oxygen. As a young guy, whether in campus, outside the campus, or even in the lodge, if you are not sleekly handsome, own a car, or even know someone who owns a car, then you are not Adaku's type. She would never associate with you. She mocked her roommates for dating a struggling guy. She said, "What are you even doing with this guy? He's not fine, no car, not even rich. How do you cope?" Her roommate smiled. "You are still far behind. You think money is everything. One day, this same guy will marry me, and you will still be waiting with this your rude, lazy, and unrespectful character." Adaku laughed scornfully. "Na you sabi?" During holidays, Adaku will return to Auntie Onome's house, enjoy the holiday, and went back to school. But years passed. As her three younger sisters got married, her cousin sister too, even Emeka, found love. She visited, carrying herself about as a big girl. When she saw Emeka's wife, she mocked her for being local, and Emeka replied, "She may not be your idea of beauty, but I married peace. You, still single, is it pride, laziness, or bad character holding you back?" For the first time, Adaku felt a tinge of guilt as someone finally confronted her about her faults. She ignored and went back to school. Years later, she graduated with a good grade. She returned home to Auntie Onome's house, and Auntie Onome hosted a party. Everyone celebrated her. Months later, Auntie Onome broke the news they were relocating abroad. At first, Adaku was very excited, but when she realized she wasn't going with them, her heart broke. At 31, she returned home, a graduate, yes, but jobless. No husband, no comfort. Just the family she once ignored. The softness of her past was gone, and all that remained was the bitter taste of pride turned into ashes. Adaku now sits at home, wondering where it all went wrong. Her beauty, charm, and favor couldn't replace character and growth. She had the world at her feet, but lacked the wisdom to stand on her own. Weeks after moving back to her mother's house, Adaku began to feel the heat of life she once mocked. There was no car waiting outside, no house help to make her bed, no machines to wash her clothes. Her siblings, who once admired her, now pitied her. Her sisters, all married, rarely asked her to visit. They were busy with their families. Families Adaku had always laughed at for being ordinary. She would wake up, scroll through social media, and see wedding photos of people she once looked down on. Comparison became her daily poison. One morning, she overheard her mother talking to a neighbor outside. "Adaku has returned," her mother said with a tired voice. "She is back from school, but I don't know what next." She doesn't even try to help at home. I pray something changes." Those words cut deep. That night, Adaku sat outside, staring at the stars. She whispered to herself, "Is this my life now? Is this how it ends?" But the next day, she didn't do anything different. One Sunday afternoon, Emeka came visiting with his wife and child. They had moved to the city and were doing well. His wife, Amaka, polite and respectful, greeted Adaku warmly. Adaku forced a smile. "You look good," Amaka said. "I have always heard about you, how smart you were in school." Adaku couldn't hide her surprise. "Really?" "Yes. My husband always said you were very sharp, but..." Emeka chuckled. She had the word but didn't want to build one. Adaku didn't reply. Those words haunted her. After they left, she locked herself in her room and cried. That night, for the first time in years, she prayed for a change in her life. The following week, Adaku joined her mother at the pap store. "Mama, let me help you today," she said quietly. Her mother looked at her, shocked. "You?" "Yes, I want to try." At first, her movement was clumsy, but slowly she adjusted. Customers were shocked to see the once proud Adaku measuring pap, wiping tables, and even smiling politely. Weeks passed. People noticed the change. One afternoon, Auntie Onome called from abroad. She had heard Adaku was improving and wanted to check on her. "You've changed," she said after their chat. "I like this new Adaku. There is a training program for female entrepreneurs I'm sponsoring. Would you like to join?" Adaku's eyes light up. Yes, I would love that." And just like that, a seed was planted. Months passed. Adaku completed the training, started a small online business, and was helping her mother expand her store into a proper shop. She wasn't rich, not yet, but she was finally content. People started seeing her in a new light. She no longer chased flashy things. She smiled more. She even apologized to people around she had offended. At 33, Adaku met someone, not a billionaire, not a social media influencer. He was a humble engineer who ran his own workshop respectfully, focused and kind. They became friends, then lovers, then got married. Adaku didn't have a fairy tale wedding, but she had peace. Adaku didn't get the life she fantasized about. She got something better: growth, grace, and gratitude. Sometimes, when life humbles you, it's not to break you, it's to rebuild you. Thank you for watching this story, a journey of beauty, pride, mistake, and growth. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comment section, share to your loved ones, and please subscribe to this channel, African Folktales Cherry, for more powerful life stories that inspires, teach, and entertain. Your support means everything. Until we meet again, stay humble, stay grateful, and keep growing. Bye.